Rise of the Planet of the Apes. Great movie, fantastic. Just got back from watching it. Really enjoyable. It's one of those things where don't want to say give away too much about the plot. Well, what am I saying giving away about the plot? It's Rise of the Planet of the Apes. Everybody knows Planet of the Apes. Charlton Heston, get your hands off me, you damn nerdy ape. That's pretty much what we're looking at. Just a modern reinterpretation of how that happened. After Tim Burton's movie that we saw a few years ago with Marky Mark, it was, to say disappointing at the least. As well, it's one of those things where for years I actually had a Planet of the Apes Tim Burton movie poster on my wall right next to my poster of the original Planet of the Apes, and I never really had a problem with it, but in hindsight, looking back on it, yeah, makes more sense now, I suppose, with the redo of it now that I realise it's Earth all along. The reveal's already been done, we know about it, so watching the apes evolve into their own community is probably the most interesting part. If everybody knows from the trailer, everybody's seen the fact that it's chemical treatments, treatment for Alzheimer's that causes the apes to gain intelligence, specifically this one, Caesar. The one thing I didn't realise is that I thought it was one of the test apes that actually it happens to. Obviously going to be some spoilers in this, so spoiler warning all over the place. Like I should probably pop it up on YouTube underneath my head or something, I don't know, somewhere around there. But it's spoilers. Caesar is actually the child of one of the apes that was tested on, so therefore it had a genetic lineage, potentially more smarter. Pretty smart, nice idea. Kind of sets him separate from everybody else, and then the entire idea of years and years and years and going by in evolution being passed on shows how intelligent they can truly get, compared to even the ones that he lets loose later on that have been enhanced by the drug intake that they've taken. Well, it's, I don't know. It gives a separation in the species, essentially, from what's going to end up happening with the later Planet of the Apes movie that, well, obviously, they put hooks in for showing that it's going to happen, that they're making a sequel, they're going to do Planet of the Apes modern remake. With the space shuttle that they refer to in the middle of the movie, it's gone either lost in space or it's recently launched, so it's the entire idea of their trip to Mars. Taking so long to get there, taking so long to get back, not having contact with Earth, blah blah blah, of course, land, Planet of the Apes, woohoo, all think it's a completely different planet or whatever else. Now it's going to be that long, but it'll be one of those like disaster movies where the world's been taken over. The apes themselves, fantastically done in CGI. As far as I can remember, it's circus, so actually the mocap behind Gollum and other creatures. Amazing job as usual, fantastic. Apes, well, Caesar himself is more human than others, and a lot of the other ones do feel a little bit off, especially whenever they're shooting apes that are not evolved or anything from compared to the others. It was one of those things they probably decided to go full CGI rather than half CGI, like doing just the ones that are being enhanced by it for the way they upright and whatever else. They thought, we're going to change it anyway, we might as well have all of them CGI. Leads to some scenes that are, I don't know, less convincing because of the actual people are acting to objects that aren't there. That's the problem with CGI, it's always going to be. Not everybody's going to be on the same page and know exactly where every creature's going to be because they don't have a visual example to work from. But the bit whenever they go to the zoo, it would have been very interesting to see a difference between the two different, like the CGI ape and the actual apes, to see how comparison close they get. The orangutan in the movie is fantastic. Whenever it's first introduced, it's a nice surprise, very, very well done. It's actually genuinely funny, considering it's two apes having a conversation. So, two apes can tell a joke. But overall, actually a really good film. It's one of those things I'm thinking about the long series of Return of the Planet of the Apes, Conquering the Planet of the Apes, and the ones that they did in the past. I'm going to miss the rubber mask, I'm going to miss the humanoids with a monkey head, essentially. Even in comparison to Tim Burton one, where they're highly evolved and they've grown up as well. I think this is going to take a different slant on it, I suppose. Although they still have very, like, it's the intelligence of the face is actually pretty well expressed. It's put through really well, especially in the later parts of the movie with Caesar, which whenever the conquering of the Earth is going to be starts to happen. Well, it's not even really conquering. They're escaping to a natural habitat where they feel safe, and it's one of those movies that, yeah, I've heard other reviewers chatting about the message that's being put across, human cruelty to animals and treatment of animals in captivity. And well, I don't hold too much of an opinion about it, but I've seen some horrible stuff, like in aquariums before, and I can understand. Sitting watching it, I'm not no point cheering on the humans. I actually you're cheering on the apes all the way through. Horrible to say that you're actually going against it, but yeah, they really were treated badly, and the entire fact that repeated science experiments. The one with the scarred face, I think it's Coda is his name, or Coda. The fact that they point out that he's a well-tested ape, like the scars and everything is from many years of scientific abuse. Gets the comeuppance and a call out at the end of it whenever they finally break away into the redwood forest, and you know, yeah, it was really worth it. The bit they showed in the trailer with the monkeys and the spears sitting on the rooftop, I thought there was going to be more kind of like the evolutionary combat where they were like going to use stick stones, then use spears, then steal somebody's gun. There's one thing that kind of relates into that, and it's very awesome. It's just on the bridge, at the very tail end of the bridge whenever the attack begins. I'm not going to say any more details because I want you to go and watch this. This is actually one of those ones where if I talk too much about everything that's in it, you'll not want to see it. But well, not that you'll not want to see it. You should want to see it. It's a good film, but you won't actually want to see it because you're going, oh, I've already heard about it all. I know all the big scenes. So I'm going to actually have to keep this a little bit short, just for the fact of keeping a little bit of mystery behind the film. But all I can say is yes, nicely done, well watched, well enjoyed. Wouldn't say the best movie I've seen all summer. That's difficult to say actually, because I've seen a lot of movies this summer that really disappointed. But yeah, a couple other ones actually still enjoyed a bit better. Captain America, and Cowboys and Aliens all both come to mind, and that's just me being cheesy and enjoying things that I think are kind of cool. But Rise of the Planet of the Apes, 2 thumbs up for it. Recommend it. Give it a shot. Give it a watch. If you want to know more about Planet of the Apes, comment below. I really like the original movies. I was sitting thinking of going through them all again and giving them a watch through, giving them a wee review. It's one of those things where I haven't seen them in so long that it's going to catch me completely off guard by the later films. Like, I remember the originals because everybody remembers the statue scene and stuff. In fact, you know, my first introduction to Planet of the Apes was through Spaceballs, strangely enough. And if anybody doesn't know that scene from Spaceballs, go and look it up on YouTube. It's the last scene. It's hilarious. Here's some Spaceballs. Well, there goes the planet. Well, Rise of the Planet of the Apes. Again, fantastic. Worth a watch. Spend your money. Go and see it. Highly recommend it. I probably will see it again. I'm not going to see it in the cinema again. I'll probably see it whenever it gets released in DVD. But until then, love the monkeys.